My name is Brian Cromwell. I'm a partner in the white collar group at Parker Poe Adams and Bernstein. The best advice my father ever gave to me was the advice that he gives to a lot of his clients. He did tax work for his clients, and he said, look, I'm just a conduit. There are two kinds of people in this world. There are people who sleep well and people who eat well. And you can tell me a lot of things that are inaccurate, but you will always be worried about being audited. You will always be worried about being in trouble, and you won't be able to sleep well. So my advice to you is sleep well. Don't worry about eating well. If you work hard and you do the right thing, the money will come. And that's the way I live my life. Before I became a lawyer, I worked for several banks, and I had the opportunity to work for HBO in New York City. I learned how to be a businessman before I became a lawyer. I was comfortable with corporate America. I know the way a corporate lawyer thinks. I know the way an entrepreneur thinks. And it's sometimes different than a lawyer. A lot of times a lawyer will be very conservative and not do things because they're scared of the consequences, whereas business people will be aggressive and consequences be damned. So I'm able to talk with them in the language that they understand. And even if they tend to be conservative, I can understand their thought patterns that are going to be different than a lawyer's thought patterns. I feel very comfortable living in both the business world and in the legal world. When I first went to law school, I knew I was never going to set foot in a courtroom. I had full intentions of being a tax lawyer and doing transactional work. Because of my time at HBO, I was a financial analyst and I wanted to continue to do that kind of work. And then I had the amazing opportunity of becoming Mecklenburg County district attorney, assistant district attorney, and I got to try cases. I got to meet people, and that's easily the best part of my job. I really enjoy helping people solve their problems. One of my favorite movies is Pulp Fiction, and there's a scene in Pulp Fiction where Samuel L. Jackson is talking to Ving Rhames, and he says, man, I'm in big trouble, I need help. And Ving Rhames, and I'll leave the expletives out, says, I'm bringing in the wolf. I want to be the wolf for my clients. Another great thing that my father advises me is that winners win and losers make excuses. And I want my clients to know that. I don't want them to think, well, we gave it our best shot. No, winners win. We will find a way to win for you. Now, winning is different degrees, especially in the white-collar world, but at the end of the day, winners win and losers make excuses. Back in the '94 playoffs, Michael Jordan had the flu, which was way back. I know you can't see my gray hair, but back in the '94 playoffs, Michael Jordan had the flu. He easily could have said, look, I don't feel well, I'm going to sit out. But instead, he went out and put up over 50 points in a playoff game and led the Bulls to the championship because he's a winner and winners win. My practice area is bifurcated. I do white-collar criminal defense, I do internal investigations, I do regulatory investigations. For example, I do a lot of work with SEC enforcement, and I also do several matters that are involved with civil litigation. But they tend to be more complex civil litigation that requires a lot more time. A lot of times clients will come to me and they will have received a subpoena to go into the grand jury, and they'll say, well, I don't know whether I'm a witness, a subject, or a target. So I will spend time with them explaining to them what those terms mean, and I will go in and talk to the prosecutor to find out where they stand. Sometimes my clients have been indicted and we have to prepare their defense. A lot of times I will get a phone call from a client that says, hey, we're being investigated, but we're not sure where this is going to end up. So we spend a lot of time preparing a defense even before indictment. I spend a lot of time going to the U.S. Attorney's Office and the District Attorney's Office and explaining my client's position and why they should not be charged with the crime in the first place. I tell every client that I meet, be cool and tell the truth. If you can do both of those things, you'll be successful in any litigation. When I was in high school, I was on the chess team. I was in a group called Strategy and Tactics. I was on the bowling team. Big nerd, right? Except I was an athlete, so I could play football with the footballers, I can play basketball with the basketball players. So I was part of a small group that were great athletes, and we always had a great time. We might be laughing a bit too loud. That would be us.